Your business employed around 200 people. Today it employs around 1,200. There's been a massive surge of growth. Do you want to take us through that story of what's happened with your company in recent years?
Yes, look, I think the reality is that the growth story, I guess, really begins at the point of deregulation for the Australian dairy industry, funnily enough. So around 2000, Bega Cheese had to make some choices about what it was going to do. The reality is that as far as the Australian market was concerned, we entered into some significant contracts. Those contracts led us to have consistent growth. So by about 2007, we were a company that employed 400 or 500 people. We're beginning to export, growing the business very strongly, and the business had a great record of performance. In 2007, we invested into Tatura Milk Industries in northern Victoria. I guess that began the next story of growth. So subsequent to the investment in Tatura Milk Industries, we then purchased Kraft's major facility offered at Strathmerton. We purchased a facility from a family company that was a cheese manufacturing facility. So the company now in 2012 has 5 sites, employs in fact around 1,500 people, and exports to over 40 countries around the world. So and has about $1 billion worth of sales. So certainly a very big growth story. And produces 200,000 tonnes of products. So. Well, look, I think we've been very judicious in what we've done. So we have identified our assets very carefully in terms of purchasing them, and I think people would say that we generally are quite astute purchasers of the assets. And then we've purchased them because of their quality. So we've always bought quality assets, and then we've quickly backed that up with strong investment. So been very well supported by our friendly bankers, and of course that has, as you say, led to very quick growth. In August last year, the company did take the decision for a number of reasons, but inclusive of wanting to position itself for further growth, to list on the Australian Securities Exchange. So that sort of raised a small amount of capital, which would sort of reduce some debt. But the reality is it's been fundamentally funded by having a business that was made reliable profits over an extended period of time, bought high quality assets, invested in the future, and had strong support from its bankers right the way through. So we would still say that, so in the Australian market we would still say there's some opportunity, but the reality is it wouldn't be a surprise to anybody for me to say that the Australian market is fundamentally a very mature market. It's very stable, but with not a lot of organic growth. So that growth comes out of, quite frankly, either further rationalisation of the dairy industry, or indeed us just having a competitive advantage and winning business off our existing competitors. So very highly competitive marketplace in Australia with a number of quality competitors fighting it out for position in that market. But we would say that in recent times we've actually been quite successful in winning new business in a competitive market such as Australia. Internationally, obviously very big growth, particularly in China and Southeast Asia. For us, it is the Asian and Middle Eastern markets that present the greatest opportunity, and also reflect the growth of recent times. And I'm careful to say that it's not only the emerging markets that are growing strongly, but it's also a strong presence in markets such as Japan and South Korea that have seen us able to grow our business. So the platforms for us in the international marketplace would be no surprise that, of course, it is cheddar and processed cheese, but it's also the things that the company's not quite so well known for, which is infant formula and nutritionals and cream cheese. And those products are in very high demand, particularly in Asia, as I've said. And we've just invested more money in the cream cheese part of our business, for example, to increase capacities. We continue to grow the nutritionals business. So they're the sorts of areas where the business will organically grow as it responds to the market requirements.